News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, 727-9900 today. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, a man is taken into custody for allegedly shooting into a neighbor's home, and a suspect arrested for shooting an NHP trooper faces additional charges. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Officers are summoned to the scene of a man who opened fire in a neighborhood. It's Friday, May 8th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, a local was taken into custody today after barricading himself inside his own residence. A Pahrump man is in police custody after allegedly firing several rounds from a gun into his neighbor's home. According to the Nye County Sheriff's Office, they say that deputies were called after the male reportedly went into his backyard off Dapple and Ambush Streets and was actively shooting a weapon. The suspect then went back into his home and refused to come out at the request of officers on scene. After a short standoff, he eventually exited the home and was arrested. No injuries have been reported. Nye County Sheriff's deputies are investigating. Well, a man accused of killing a Nevada Highway Patrol trooper in White Pine County back in March is now facing additional charges here in Nye County.
Nevada Highway Patrol Sergeant Ben Jenkins was shot and killed March 27th in White Pine County while stopping to assist a motorist. The suspect, identified as John DeBritz, has been arrested and charged with Jenkins' murder. Since the time of the shooting, the Nye County Sheriff's Office has conducted a lengthy investigation into DeBritz. The Sheriff's Office says DeBritz lived within Nye County in Tybo Canyon, approximately 68 miles outside of Tonopah. Detectives received information that DeBritz had potentially been previously displaying signs of anti-government extremism, and according to the Sheriff's Office, at the conclusion of the investigation, detectives discovered that in addition to DeBritz's charges out of White Pine County, he had allegedly committed crimes within the boundaries of Nye County. As a result of that investigation, the Nye County Sheriff's Office has forwarded the following charges against DeBritz to the Nye County District Attorney's Office for prosecution: possession of an explosive device with the intent to manufacture, and possession of an explosive device. DeBritz is scheduled to undergo a psychiatric evaluation to see if he can stand trial. That evaluation will help the courts determine if he understands the criminal charges against him.
And first responders discover incriminating evidence at the scene of a car crash near Round Mountain, and that leads to the arrest of 2 men on multiple charges.
On May 5th, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, Nevada Highway Patrol, and Round Mountain Volunteer Fire Department responded to a single-vehicle rollover accident on Highway 376. While walking through the scene, firefighters found a sawed-off shotgun buried in the dirt near the crash site. The driver, identified as 24-year-old Stephen Wells of Portland, Oregon, and the passenger, identified as 27-year-old Bryson Gill of Lakewood, Washington, initially denied having any knowledge of the shotgun. Both Wells and Gill are convicted felons. The Nye County Sheriff's Office deployed Narcotics Canine Charlie to conduct an open-air sniff around the vehicle. Charlie gave a positive alert on a small personal safe among the belongings scattered across the scene. Deputies were granted a search warrant for the safe and the vehicle. Inside the safe, deputies located a scale and approximately 665 grams of oxycodone. The Sheriff's Office says Wells later admitted to ownership of the shotgun and told officers he had stolen the safe while in Phoenix. A trooper's dash camera captured a recording of Gill attempting to convince Wells to admit to ownership of the safe and the gun, which Wells agreed to. Both were placed under arrest. Wells was booked into the Nye County Detention Center for possession of a gun by a prohibited person, trafficking a controlled substance, non-resident driving on a suspended license, and conspiracy to violate the Uniform Controlled Substance Act. Gill was booked on charges of trafficking a controlled substance, possession of a gun by a prohibited person, and conspiracy to violate the Uniform Controlled Substance Act.
Well, stay with us. More News 25 after this break.
News 25 is brought to you by Star Nursery, your garden's partner for every bloomin' thing.
Well, trade groups are asking the government for guidelines on how to reopen safely. The FDA is limiting the number of masks coming into the U.S. from China, and some colleagues have already announced they're freezing tuition. Details from Angela Miles.
Topping our news, trade groups including the American Frozen Food Institute are asking Vice President Pence for guidelines on how to reopen safely. They are asking for directions on everything from break room safety to how truck drivers should interact with employees working in plants. President Trump remains eager to get the economy moving again. The FDA is cutting back on the number of companies that are making N95 type masks in China for healthcare workers in America. The Wall Street Journal reports some of the imported masks do not meet U.S. standards. University of Nebraska will freeze tuition rates for the next 2 academic years. University President Ted Carter says the school can't afford not to freeze its education fee. At Central Michigan University, President Robert Davies is also freezing tuition. He believes other universities will follow suit. University tuition typically rises 3% per year.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak has announced some businesses will reopen as soon as tomorrow. Phase 1 allows restaurants, barbershops, salons, and retailers to reopen their doors, but with restrictions. The governor announced the changes during a news conference Thursday afternoon.
I'm pleased to announce, as a result of the Nevadan cooperating and doing so well in the social distancing, wearing masks, that we are on track with our reopening criteria, and we will enter phase 1 on Saturday, May 9th. As a state, we have met our gateway benchmarks for starting our reopening, the ones that I laid out 2 weeks ago, and are included in our roadmap to recovery. Our reopening criteria were very specific. We're looking for consistent and sustainable downward trajectory in the percentage of COVID-19 cases and a decrease in the trend of COVID-19 hospitalizations over the 14-day period. Now I want to talk about some reopening businesses that are allowed with social distance requirements. I'm going to begin with restaurants. We still encourage curbside pickup or delivery, but restaurants can now open for dine-in under these requirements. They must require, I repeat, they must require employees to wear face coverings and encourage customers to wear face coverings. In-person dining will be limited to no more than 50% of the available seating capacity. Reservations should be required. Tables or booths must be spaced 6 feet apart. Bar tops and bar areas within restaurants will remain closed for the current time. With barbershops, hair salons, and nail salons. They may open under strict social distancing requirements, and I'm going to get into that. If there are partitions or walls between the workstations or the chairs, we strongly encourage those to be there. If they are not there, then the business must use only every other chair or station to ensure that they are 6 feet apart. Services must be provided through appointments only. No walk-ins will be allowed, and you will have 1 customer per stylist or cosmetologist. Stylists, beauticians, barbers, and all staff must wear face coverings and encourage their clients to wear face coverings. Retail businesses are strongly encouraged to promote and continue their online or call-in ordering, curbside pickup, delivery, and operations, but they now may reopen under strict social distancing requirements. Retail businesses shall limit the number of customers in their facility at any given time to no more than 50% of the allowed occupancy based on applicable fire code. Malls. Open-air malls may open in accordance with the retail business standards that I previously mentioned. Indoor malls remain closed to the public, but they may establish an outdoor curbside pickup or delivery operation to the extent practicable following strict social distancing requirements. Automobile, ATV, and recreational vehicle dealers. We encourage appointment only. Test drives are allowed if only the customer or customer household members are allowed in the vehicle. No dealership representative in the vehicle with the customer on a test drive. Showroom areas open to the public must not exceed 50% of the allowed occupancy based on applicable fire codes. Retail cannabis dispensaries are encouraged to continue curbside delivery and pickup operations, but may now conduct in-store sales only after submitting a plan and receiving approval from the Marijuana Enforcement Division. There is more information on this as well on the cannabis stores on our guidance documents, which will be on the website.
And if you would like to see those Phase 1 documents and the whole entire press conference, you can go to the local Facebook page. We have posted those also on the People Helping People During the Coronavirus Pandemic page. Well, Pahrump had 2 new positive COVID-19 test results reported on Thursday. The county's total is now at 44 positive reported, with 14 of those now listed as recovered. News 25 will return right after this break.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
Research shows children tend to gain weight during the summer months when they're not at school. So how can parents keep kids from putting on excess weight while navigating COVID-19 school closures? Cleveland Clinic dietitian Julia Zampano says parents should start by setting a meal plan for the day.
Making sure that you feed the kids breakfast within the first couple hours of waking up. So normally we're rushing out the door, trying to get to school. That's not the case anymore. So, you can be flexible with the timing, but usually within the first 2 to 3 hours of waking up, we want to have some form of breakfast.
Zampano says it's best to make sure kids have something to eat every 4 to 5 hours. This will help cut down on all-day grazing. Have some healthy snack options available and portion them out into bowls so kids aren't eating right out of the box or bag. And keep track of when everyone is eating during the day. This includes adults.
Make a note of what time you eat breakfast. Make a note of what time you had the snack. If you find you're snacking all day, maybe just go ahead and have a meal. Maybe you're more hungry than you realize and you're just snacking throughout the day because you're not actually eating a meal.
It's easy to fall back on comfort foods when we're feeling stressed and out of sorts. And while it's okay to indulge in a comfort snack here or there, Zampano says we want to make sure kids are getting balanced meals with plenty of vegetables at mealtime.
Really focusing the core of meals being a protein source, a fruit, and a vegetable. And the vegetable portion should exceed the portion of meat and fruit or starch.
Zampano says it's best to avoid snacks too close to bedtime, as night snacking is typically done out of habit, not out of hunger. Instead, offer kids a healthy snack, such as an apple with natural peanut butter or a glass of milk an hour or 2 before bedtime.
Thanks to Brad Francis for that report. Well, in this Friday installment of Save a Pet, we meet Nala, a 1-year-old owner surrender who's available for adoption now at Desert Haven Animal Society. Darby O'Donnell has her story.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Nala. Nala is a 1-year-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix. She's also mixed with a boxer. She is very sweet. You can tell she's very loving. It says on her little card that her owner was very much in love with her, but unfortunately she couldn't keep her because of where they were living at the time, and she wasn't able to stay in her apartment if she were to keep her. So she's super sweet. She's just a little scared right now. She is definitely a dog that you want to come out and spend some time with. You can really see her sweet personality starting to go and relax, and she'll be a beautiful doggy. She just needs some time and someone to work with her to get her through her little life change. That's all. So if you want to see her or any of her friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, they are on Ceres Lane behind the Nye County Courthouse. They are still showing animals at this time. You just need to call ahead and make an appointment, 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Bye, Nala. Do you want to say anything?
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, let's take a look outside. I know it's been kind of warm. It's warm in here, and we're looking at some wind coming our way. Let's find out more about what's in store for your Mother's Day weekend weather right after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donohue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 96 degrees, a low of 70, 107, a low of 77 in Death Valley, 96, a low of 63 in Amargosa, 92.60 in Beatty, 84.47 in Goldfield, 82, a low of 48 in Tonopah, 85 for the high in Carson City and Fallon, 48 for the low in Carson City, 45 in Fallon, and finally up in Fernley, 84 degrees, their low is 50 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies. Our high today was 95 degrees. Winds out of the southwest up to 7 miles per hour. Humidity at 6%, and our sunrise at 5:43 this morning. Now tonight we're going to see some clouds rolling in with some mostly clear skies. Our low is going to be 66 degrees. Winds out of the east-southeast up to 6 miles per hour. 13% for our humidity, and our sunset at 7:37 tonight. Now looking ahead to that 7-day, still going to see some clouds rolling in for the weekend, as well as those high winds up to 13 and 17 miles per hour on Saturday and Sunday, up to 22 miles per hour on Monday and Tuesday. Thankfully, that's going to die down to about 11 miles per hour next Wednesday and Thursday. Now, temperature-wise, we're going to start seeing that dip here on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be seeing our highs at 96 and 94 degrees, down at 87 on Monday, those high 70s at 79 and 78 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday, then back up to those low to mid 80s next Thursday and Friday. Now our overnights are doing the same thing. On Saturday, we're going to be seeing a low of 70 degrees, down to those mid to low 60s on Sunday and Monday, lows of about 53 and 54 on Tuesday and Wednesday, then back up into those high 50s, low 60s by next Thursday and Friday. So now with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Well, finalized data from the Nevada Department of Employment, Training and Rehabilitation show initial claims for unemployment insurance totaled 28,550 for the week ending May 2nd. That's down 13,991 claims, or 32.9% compared to last week's total of 42,541. This is the lowest weekly initial claim since the COVID-19 related business closures, but still stands as the 7th highest weekly total in Nevada history. Through the week ending May 2nd, there have been 440,761 initial claims filed in 2020. Well, we hope that everybody has a wonderful Mother's Day. I know it's going to be a tough one because you want to see Mom, and you know, I definitely want to see her, so I'm going to Skype. So I hope you guys get on FaceTime or Skype and say hi to moms, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms. You guys deserve it so much. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. We'll see you back here on Monday from all of us here at KPVM-TV and Ace Country Radio. Have a great weekend.